What if I told you the single biggest revolution in human history isn't happening out there in the world, but right in here, inside our own minds? Today, we're diving deep into a radical idea, a place where cutting-edge science and ancient mysticism are actually starting to shake hands and agree. The universe, it's probably not what we think it is. It might just be a living mirror of consciousness itself. So let's just start with a huge question. Think about the world you experience, day to day. Does it feel solid, objective, like it's just happening to you? Or could it be something way stranger and a whole lot more interactive? How you answer that one question, well, that's the key that could unlock a completely different reality.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this new model, we first have to look at the old one and see exactly how it all started to fall apart. This is where our story really kicks off.
For centuries, we basically lived in what you could call a clockwork universe, all thanks to Isaac Newton. It was neat, it was predictable, it was solid, and most importantly, it was out there. We were just here watching the show. But then, in the early 20th century, scientists started peering into the quantum realm, and they found something else entirely. A world that was fuzzy, unpredictable, and, weirdly enough, seemed to react to being watched.
Now, at the heart of all this strangeness is a concept called superposition. So try to picture this. A particle isn't in any single place. Instead, it exists in all of its possible locations at the exact same time. It's like a cloud of pure potential. So what makes it finally choose a spot and become real? An observer, someone looking at it. And the implication of that is just staggering. It's like reality itself is holding its breath, just waiting as this fluid field of possibility, until consciousness gets involved.
And this isn't just a theory, this is a proven phenomenon known as the observer effect. The moment we try to measure or even just observe a quantum system, it fundamentally changes its behavior. And this, right here, is the crucial turning point. This is where consciousness stops being a passive audience member and becomes an active participant in creating reality itself.
Now, as you can imagine, this idea was seriously disturbing even to the brightest minds out there. Albert Einstein famously hated it. He couldn't stand the randomness that quantum mechanics suggested. His famous quote really shows you just how much pushback there was against this completely reality-bending new idea. The old, comfortable, clockwork universe was dying, and a much, much stranger one was being born.
So, if the old map of reality got torn to pieces, what do the new maps look like? Well, this is where things get absolutely spectacular, as we start to explore these wild new theories about the very nature of existence.
All right, so one of the most mind-blowing solutions to this quantum puzzle is the many worlds interpretation. Basically, a physicist named Hugh Everett proposed that when a quantum particle faces a choice, it doesn't just collapse into one state. Oh no. Instead, reality itself splits into multiple copies. Every single possible outcome happens, each in its own brand new, totally real, parallel universe. Just think about that for a second. That means there's a version of you who took that other job, and they are just as real as you are.
And what's so cool is that art actually got there first. Decades before the physicists, a writer named Jorge Luis Borges wrote this story, The Garden of Forking Paths. And in it, he described a world that's a massive labyrinth of branching timelines, where every single choice you make creates another future. It's this beautiful, poetic vision that perfectly captures the scientific theory, that every decision, no matter how small, gives birth to a whole new universe.
And this is where things get really wild, because this is where modern physics and ancient mysticism basically start saying the same thing. The mystic Paramahansa Yogananda said that the world is a dream, a projection from a divine consciousness. So whether you want to call it the quantum field, or spirit, or God, the core idea is identical. What we call reality is a projection, an outward expression of a much greater awareness.
Okay, so if all these parallel realities are real, the obvious question is, can we actually go to them? Well, some modern spiritual teachers believe we can. For example, there's a fascinating model from a popular channeled entity called Bashar. The idea is that every parallel reality is like a different radio station, each one vibrating at its own unique frequency. And your internal state, your emotions, your beliefs, your vibe, that's your radio dial. By changing your internal frequency, you can literally change the channel and shift your awareness to a parallel timeline that's a match.
Then there's an even more radical idea, popularized by Michael Talbot, called the holographic universe theory. The idea is that our reality is structured like a hologram. You know how if you smash a hologram, every tiny little piece still contains the entire original image? Well, this theory says our universe is like that. Every tiny part contains the information of the whole. And in a model like that, the separation between you and the universe, it just completely dissolves. You're not just a tiny part in the universe, you are the entire universe experiencing itself. So all of this has some pretty profound implications for us personally. I mean, if reality is this fluid, this responsive, then what does that actually make our lives? Well, this next part reframes our entire existence as a kind of interactive game, one designed specifically for us to remember who we really are.
So let's play with this idea for a second. What if life isn't just random? What if it's more like a deeply immersive simulation, a training ground? From this point of view, the challenges you face aren't punishments. They're just opportunities for you to recognize patterns. Every single circumstance is a symbolic lesson perfectly designed to help you level up your awareness and remember the rules of the game.
So if life is a game, what's the cheat code? It's not about manipulating the world outside of you. It's not about finding some secret shortcut. The ultimate power-up, the real cheat code, is simply self-awareness. True mastery comes from understanding your own inner state, because that is what's programming your entire experience.
And you know, like any good game, this one has some core mechanics. For instance, your frequency, your overall emotional state, is the controller that selects which reality you tune into. Karma isn't some cosmic punishment, it's just the game's feedback system, showing you the energetic result of your actions. Forgiveness is like a superpower that resets the board. And maybe the most important rule, the secret key to winning, isn't beating everyone else. It's realizing it's a co-op game and helping everyone win with you.
So let's bring it all home with our final section, which is honestly the most empowering part of all of this. This is where we make the shift from just being a player in the game to realizing that we are also the one programming it. We are the architects of our own reality. I really want you to let this one sink in. You are not a tiny speck of dust floating around in a vast, empty cosmos. No, the entire universe that you experience is flowing out of you. It is a projection of your consciousness. Your reality is not some objective place you were just dropped into. It is a customized simulation being broadcast from your own state of being. A great way to really get this is through something called the mirror principle. The idea is that every single person, every event, every pattern in your outer world is just a mirror reflecting something that's going on inside of you. That person who really gets under your skin, they're a mirror. That pattern that keeps repeating in your life, it's a mirror. The external world is a perfect feedback system designed to show you your own beliefs and your own vibration.
And this brings us to the ultimate conclusion here. This entire paradigm shift we've been talking about, from physics to mysticism, it all boils down to this one incredibly powerful realization. It's the shift from seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance, where life is happening to you, to becoming the conscious architect of your experience, where you realize reality is flowing through you. You are the origin point.
So, if you are the creator, the programmer, and the player, all at the same time, what's next? You have the user manual now. You've seen the architecture behind the illusion. So the only question left is the one that you get to answer every single moment of every single day. Now that you know the rules of the game, what game are you going to choose to play?